Welcome back to our channel. I'm Elena Litvinenko, the CEO at Traders Union and today's host. We are honored to be joined by Dixon Teo, the CEO of Tradex Prop, a proprietary trading firm known for its trader-first approach, performance-driven culture, and focus on discipline, mindset, and long-term consistency. Today, our topic is trading psychology and discipline, the two factors that often separate consistent traders from inconsistent ones. Hello, Dixon. It's nice to meet you. How are you today?
Hello. First and foremost, thank you for inviting me to this podcast. It's my utmost pleasure. And yeah, it's been fine. I mean, weather's fine. I assume we have a very different time zone with Ukraine, right? So in Malaysia right now it's about 7:30 p.m.
Yeah, weather is a little bit cold today here. Let's go to our topic today. As we all know, discipline and psychology are two essential elements of successful trading. So let's dive into this topic a bit further. What do you believe is the single biggest psychological barrier that prevents traders from reaching consistency, even when they have solid technical skills?
I think the biggest barrier would be looking for certainty, right? I think most traders, they don't fail because they lack of strategy. We have a lot of strategies around the internet, right? Basically, it's like free flow of information, right? In this informational age. So I think they fail because they are looking for some sort of certainty in the market, which I believe is very hard to find, right? Because they fail because they can't emotionally accept uncertainty. So even with a solid edge, trading is still a probabilistic game, right? So psychologically, human wants confirmation, control, and of course the immediate feedback, right? Whenever we trade, we want some immediate feedback. So yeah, I think when traders don't get that sort of certainty, they start interfering with their own system, with their own trading strategy, right? They move their stop loss, they are forcing their entries, or sometimes skipping the valid trades that they've set out to, right? And yeah, overtrading is, and sometimes they tend to overtrade to make themselves feel right again. So yeah, I think consistency only happens when a trader fully accepts that uncertainty is the cause of opportunity, not a problem to eliminate.
Right, which is not an easy thing to do, actually. I mean, as you said, it's natural for us to look for confirmations, and they're not always there, or they're not always enough for a person. It's basically not enough. Why do traders often repeat the same mistake? I mean, once they're sure, they take actions, but then they see that they made a mistake, and they still do it again. Sometimes. So why do you think they repeat same mistakes? Why do you think they revenge trade, oversizing, or they exit early? I mean, they understand that these behaviors are harmful, but they still do it.
So this is what we call self-sabotaging, right? So I think a lot of the traders, when they enter the market, they have a different sort of outcome that they want, all right? So because I think in this social media age, oftentimes when we look at, for example, YouTube or Instagram, right, you're constantly looking at all the feeds of people or traders winning.
Yeah, sure.
Sometimes they're chasing that sort of a feeling, and I think they are bringing this feeling into the market. They're trying to chase something that is not real in a sense, right? So, okay, trading is boring. It is boring, right? So if we really want to get some sort of feeling out of the market, you tend to, put your emotion into it. Like when you overtrade, you're actually chasing something. You're trying to look for like validation, right? So revenge trading is basically when you are really angry, right? So for me, myself, if I have some sort of argument with my wife, all right, I wouldn't step into the market, right? Because I will try to take it onto the market, right? So to bring that emotion and bring it onto the market. So yeah, I mean, a lot of times the market did slap me back and forth. So yeah, that's my That's my take.
So yeah, basically chasing some emotion and being unable to separate your life from trading, psychology. Yeah, yeah, I guess so. From your experience at Tradex Prop, what mental patterns or habits distinguish profitable traders from those who never make it past the evaluation stage?
I think the biggest difference is a oriented and a outcome oriented goal, right? So there's two different types of goal. One is the outcome goal and one is the process goal. So
Yeah.
consistently profitable traders, they think in terms of, did I follow my rules? Was this trade aligned with my plan or my system? So they are focused on the process, right? Because I think in trading, it's hard for us to really focus on an outcome because we never know what's the outcome, right? It's a probability game. A lot of the unprofitable ones or consistently unprofitable ones, they are looking at it at a different point of view, right? They're looking at how much are they up or down today or this week or this month, or whether the last trade is a win or loss. So if it's a win, maybe it will impact their decision slightly differently. Or if it's a loss, it will impact their decision differently as well. So they look at different things. They're looking at the outcomes. They're looking at the results, right? Like how close they are on passing or failing this account. And they base their identity on this outcome.
Yeah, so they're like looking for short-term uh, confirmations of their correct. Yeah, yeah.
So they need to be correct, right? So when you need to be correct in the market, it's a tough spot to be in, because I think your entire mood or your entire trader's identity are based on the outcome. So let's say if you start to shift it from looking at the process, have I done my process correctly, right? Did I really execute my trades in the manner of following the system that I have built? Am I following the risk? And basically you separate yourself from the outcome and you become more process oriented, right? So at Tradex Prop, the traders who pass, they aren't really trying to pass the evaluation, right? What they're doing is basically they're just executing clean reps day by day, day after day, day after day. So ironically, once you stop chasing the pass, you usually pass. And this is what I found out with our traders so far.
Yeah, it's probably the same in life. So if you stop chasing something, it comes to you naturally sometimes. Or so basically it's being right now or being consistent in the long term. Those are probably the two differences that we're talking about here, right?
I totally agree, right? It's like in life, sometimes when you hold on something too tightly, you wanted to achieve this goal so tightly, and it's never gonna come.
Yes, because you lose sight of everything else.
Yeah. And once you start to sort of like let go of it, it naturally just come back to you, right?
Yeah, because you're still chasing it, but you're not focusing on it so much. You're still going after your goal, but you're not obsessed with it. Right. Let's talk a little bit about the difference between trading your own capital and trading firm capital. I mean, how does it psychologically change? How do you think it psychologically change traders' behavior when they trade their own money and when they trade trading firm money? I mean, how they should adapt to this pressure?
I think prop firm capital introduces performance pressure, right, without emotional ownership, right? That's also considered as a dangerous combination as well. With personal funds, traders fear of losing money, but with firm capital, traders fear failing the rules as well. So I think at first when this whole model came out, this whole profit model came out, it was designed to, remove traders from, emotionally attached to the capital. But I think somehow due to human nature, this somehow is almost the same, right? But they're looking at it as their evaluation fee. So it's somehow it's still kind of blur, right? And I think this whole thing for traders to adapt, right, to that pressure, because of this, it caused them to be over defensive as well. Sometimes they fear to pull the trigger or to save the account, right? So I think one of the shift that traders must make is you're not being paid to protect capital emotionally, right? You're being paid to execute risk management, the risk manage process, right? So I think once traders they start to treat firm capital like a tool, a professional tool, and not just a personal scorecard, right? I think their performance could be more consistently and more stable at this point.
Right. Yeah, you can say that they are emotionally attached to to those money.
Yes, although it's firm's capital, although they do not have the risk, but I think somehow they still inherit the same idea from from a brokerage account over to prop firm's capital. Yep.
Right. Yeah. So it's also again we are coming back to discipline and to the psychology of trading. To being able to separate, personal and professional, basically. Do you think this discipline, this is something that can be trained through system and routines, or do you think it depends on personality of a trader? I mean, how do you think you can help traders build this discipline?
It's trained through systems and routines, right? Like personally, I'm not a very disciplined person before I step into the market. But then in order for me to achieve the outcome that I desire that I desire, I would need a certain level of discipline, right? Then I started to create routines around my life, routines around my career, and just basically just follow through it, right? So I think personality is it might influence tendencies a little bit, but I think discipline is built through structure, right? Clear risk rules, predefined entry conditions, not just the life in front of the screen, but the life outside of the charts. I think that's very important as well. So yeah, I think at Tradex Prop, because we've recently launched X Academy. X Academy, basically what we're doing is we're preaching them all of these concepts as well, right? In trading, in discipline, in psychology. So the main thing people have this misconception about discipline is that they think that this person they can achieve this sort of discipline, they are somewhat inherited or their DNA is different. I think it's just based on the routines that you set upon yourself and basically just following through the routine. So if you could set up a routine, just follow through it. Sometimes you may not get 100%, but that's okay, right?
Yeah, of course it's okay.
70%. But as long as you just follow through it and keep going with the routine, and I think the person will slowly develop this sort of discipline and remove them from becoming undisciplined, right?
Right. It's basically all about desire and goals. If you want to learn something new, that's what you do. You start small and then you develop a skill, right? And you become better and better. Sometimes you're better 50%, and then if you continue to be consistent with your routines, right? You can achieve 70% and maybe 80.
Yes, exactly. And I'm a true believer on the 1% per day sort of growth, right? So every day we just accumulate 1%. We just do 1% better than yesterday, right? And as time goes past, after a year, 2 years, 3 years, when you really look back, you're a different person, right? So yeah, I think we could look at discipline this way as well. You don't need to go full on hard discipline. Or I think a lot of especially traders, they have set up, okay, I'm gonna do this in 1 month. So they set a lot of routines, right? I think traders, they know how to set routines, but when they can't follow through it, they sort of abandon it. This is not for me. I can't do this. and they sort of went into this hole of self-doubt. If we look at discipline as something that just 1%, if I could just do 1% better than yesterday or the day before, and I think it's a lot easier, right? So they can just follow routine, and sometimes if they miss out routine, it's okay, as long as you come back tomorrow. Tomorrow's a new day. Just keep going. Yep.
Right, but let's still go back to the fact that we are all different, and sometimes people want to see results fast. I mean, 1% a day. I mean, I have a story from my life. Yeah, like when you go to a gym and first you start doing an exercise and you can do like 10 repetitions and that's it. And you think you failed. And then in a month, and you do 20, and you don't notice this progress until somebody points to you that, oh, but you're doing twice better, you know? And you don't see it that way because it's only 1%. You have added only 1% a day. So how can traders manage these emotions? I mean, when they're not so confident, when they're not so confident about their trading, or not so confident about being able to keep the discipline, to to be consistent and to have that 1%, when they're not sure that they are progressing. How do you think they should manage their emotions during drawdowns, during those periods of uncertainty?
Let's go back to what you mentioned at the gym, right? So you see, when we train, when we look at repetitions, we do not know how far we have come until someone have, told us, right? And I think in trading it's exactly the same. We won't go into a gym and asking for a different body just the next day, right? So this is very important for traders to understand as well. So when they first step into the market, we cannot assume that we're gonna get it in just next day or just next month, right? We need to look in terms of years at least, as the same as training our physical body in the gym. And I think the traders first, they will need to understand that drawdowns are not a signal that something is wrong. Drawdowns are actually part of the business that they're in, right? In trading, drawdown is a part of the business. The mistake that most traders are making is they're trying to fix the drawdown, especially emotionally, by trading more, switching strategies, or finding holy grails. Right. So they are still forcing the outcomes, right? So drawdowns are essential, right? In trading is part of the business. They'll need to understand this. And during drawdowns, maybe they can take some action steps, right? Like maybe they can shift their priorities, right? They can focus on reducing their risk a little bit more, right? Maybe if they can do it with slow execution, because during drawdowns, it's not just the capital is in drawdown. Their mental capital is in drawdown as well. I think, they'll need to understand that drawdown affects them not just in capital, but mentally. Right. They'll need to know. And I think drawdown is a part of the business. We cannot not have drawdown. So they'll need to focus on looking at confidence, not just from winning trades. They'll need to understand that it actually comes from knowing, even in drawdown, you still are executing it properly within your system, within your plan.
So basically accepting that it's an essential part of the process.
Yes, acceptance is a tough spot to be in. I understand, but there's no way to go around it, to be honest. Yes.
Thank you for sharing these insights with us. As our today's conversation has shown, psychology, discipline, routine, they are not soft skills. They are what drives long-term successful performance, right? So your insights and your perspective on behavior, mindset, and long-term discipline, I think will certainly resonate with many traders at all levels, actually with all traders, because These are very useful skills to have. And before we wrap up, what is one final piece of advice you would give traders who want to strengthen their psychological edge in this coming year?
Okay. I would say professionals don't aim to be right. They aim to be consistent, controlled, and
Right.
most importantly, repeatable. So if the traders they can master their behavior before they try to master the market, I think the results will follow. Not overnight, but sustainably.
Well, thank you for being with us today, Dixon. Your input is very valuable, and I think our listeners will certainly appreciate your standpoint. And to our listeners, thank you for tuning in. Stay focused, stay disciplined, and we'll see you next time.